Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? And welcome back to the channel. Today's Tuesday, and welcome back to another episode of Tool Tech with Tim the Toolman Taylor. Sorry, I just had to do that. That icon, or that Harbor Freight Earthquake XT video, their 3/8 ratchet, that is getting so many views, and a lot of you guys are talking about the tool time reference that I put in there. So what better thing to try to start this video off with that. So anyway, just something a little bit different. I wanted to go through tonight and tell you guys what I thought of the icon tools from Harbor Freight. After a few months of use, I've had, this is everything that I have from Harbor Freight's icon line. I have a 1/2 inch shallow well impact, I have a 1/2 inch deep well impact set, and I have a 1/2 inch shallow well impact set. I have the metric wrenches with the expansion pack. I have the American wrenches. I do not have the expansion pack and the American wrenches. I just haven't been back there to pick that up yet. And then also they have not ran a Icon tool coupon just for a while. Every once in a while they do a 20 or 25% off Icon tool coupon. Right now they've always been doing it on the storage unit, so I have not picked up anything else. I do want to get the expansion pack for the American, the SAE wrenches. I just have not been back there. I also have the torque set over here. I've got a 1/4 inch flex head, and then I have a 3/8 pivoting head. It's a 180-degree turn. So far so good with everything. One thing that I did find that I like about the Icon versus, this is a 1 inch deep well from my Snap-on collection that I have, is on this edge right here, the hex pattern is actually recessed probably a good 1/16 of an inch beyond the surface. So I was doing a project on the 3rd gen, putting a fuel heater on there, and since that's recessed like that, that thin nut that is on there to be able to put this adapter piece in there, I couldn't get on it with this to be able to take this off. So I had to get a little creative on how I took this off. So I was disappointed in the fact of my Craftsman stuff that I couldn't get this off of there. So like I said, I had to get creative on how I took it off. It is a lot better. There's a lot less edge there, I guess you could say, before you actually grab onto said nut. If you're dealing with something really thin like this, that's probably only a 1/16 of an inch on that. You're going to be able to grab a hold of that with no problem because that's probably only about less than a 1/16 from the surface of the socket to where you actually start to bite onto your nut. So that was one thing that I did like about the Icon brand, and I did not like about my Craftsman stuff. One thing that I noticed with the sockets when I got them, they're a matte finish. They were very heavily oiled. I was concerned about them starting to rust. You know, sometimes I do things within the elements, whether it be snow or rain, or I'm laying under my truck while it's raining doing something, and I was concerned about the stuff starting to rust. But so far so good, no rust on the sockets that I have thus far. Yesterday with the truck, you saw me do the take one of the AC lines apart with a Teflon tape cap. It did work. I told you I had saw this kind of backyard ingenuity type thing on how to take AC lines apart or fuel lines apart with something like this. I just took and cut this edge off and was able to wrap it around the AC line and push it up in there, separate that spring that locks them two joints together, and I was able to take that one fitting apart. It was rather difficult to, this is really flexible and pliable, rather difficult to get this pressed up and behind the spring. So today I ran out there and grabbed some AC and fuel line removal tools. These are just plastic. They're more rigid, and hopefully this will be this will take care of this and help me get the rest of that AC components apart on the 2nd gen. They had a couple of different styles. They had them in aluminum anodized, and then they had these plastic ones right here. I thought I would go cheap. These were $6.40, I think. I thought I would go as cheap as I could and try and get by with just doing it this way. So tomorrow we'll probably be out there on the second gen again. I got something I want to show you too. I couldn't help myself. Last night, after I was done, I had to try something. Anyway, trying to get the rest of the AC lines apart on the second gen using this fuel line and AC quick disconnect tool from Harbor Freight. That's pretty much what I wanted to show you. Oh, sorry. Let's get to the wrenches. Anyway, on the wrenches. I told you in the past that I went with, grab the 1-inch here so we can get a better visual. I went with the anti-slip on the wrenches. Now I'm kind of second guessing myself. This is the first time I've ever had this anti-slip. With that being on there, if I was to advise you guys to buy these, I would say yes, but I would not get the anti-slip. I would just get the standard smooth face wrenches. Most of the time, if it's a high torque situation, we're going to use the box end, or we're going to use a socket. If we can't get the socket on there, like I said, we're going to use the box end. Very seldom do you use your open end to try and break something loose. The reason I went with the anti-slip is I like the way this V was cut down in the bottom of that wrench. That way when that slides in there, you have all sides but two grabbing a hold of said nut to be able to break that loose. Now, with that being said, I didn't realize it was going to be an issue trying to get these on. Now that slid in there pretty good on the 1-inch. That was nice and loose and just like a typical smooth-faced open-end wrench. I've ran into some issues with some of the nuts, the smaller nuts like 1/2 inch, 9/16, where these serrations or these anti-slips in here actually give me just a little bit of a fit getting them on there and off there, you know, because of loosening the nut. Breaking it loose obviously with the box end and then putting it on there and taking it the rest of the way. It was kind of a pain in the butt to be able to get it past them serrations. I didn't quite like that. That is probably the only issue with everything that I've had thus far. I've used almost all the sizes with the exception of some of the smaller metric sizes. I haven't used those, but when I was doing the dually, I used a lot of the bigger wrenches, and I tell you, they work flawlessly. And the expansion packs, when you get them, they are just a smooth jaw. So I guess if I was going to get the wrenches, I would probably just get the smooth jaw open face, or the smooth open face wrenches versus the anti-slip. I'll spit that out of there. That's pretty much all I have with the icon stuff that I thought you guys should know. Everything thus far has performed well for me. I know there was a bunch of, I don't know if you want to call it criticizing of the stuff when it first came out. You know, everybody says, you know, and I even said in my first videos, the font style, everything on this mimics Snap-on. Like I said, from font style to the way they stamp the sizes on the wrenches. But everybody saying, well, they're soft, you know, they're going to bend, they're going to break. I've put quite a bit of torque on these and have not bent one or broke one yet. Even on the Torx heads, I've got some Torx bits here that I picked up from Icon also. Haven't had an issue with these. I know there was some issues with people saying they were breaking these. I have not broke any yet, and I have used these in my Milwaukee stubby and in the ratchet also, the 3/8 ratchet from Milwaukee. So I've used that stuff in those two tools and have not broken a Torx bit yet. The other only complaint, as I pick this up and I feel it, on this backbone of the wrench, on some of the smaller sizes, they are pretty thin, and if you're bearing down close to the end right there and you're not on the end to be able to have the comfort of the box end, or the comfort of the open end, sorry, on there to be able to put your leverage on there, that backbone is kind of thin. It does cut into your palm just a little bit. Other than that, I'm happy with them. I like them. I will probably buy more of them as stuff of my Craftsman breaks. As you know, I've got the older Craftsman stuff. From as far as I'm concerned, new Craftsman stuff is garbage and I won't buy it anymore. One last thing I want to show you guys, there is a new tool company. They are on Facebook and they are on Instagram, and they also have a website. It is called Carnage Tools. This is an endoscope they sent me to try out and play with for a little while. I've used it just a little bit so far. I think it's a pretty cool little tool. I wish I would have had this when I was doing my valve springs in the 2nd gen, because if you guys remember right, if you guys have been with the channel for a while, you know that I dropped one of the spring retainers down inside of the engine itself. By now, I'm sure it's in the oil pan, no issues, but if I would have had this, I would have had the ability to find out exactly where that went, if that was laying on that tapping tray or valley or not. So, in the days to come, we're gonna get this out, play with this just a little bit, show you some things with this. But this is a cool little tool from Carnage Tools. This is their endoscope. I'll put some links in the description for their website, and also if you guys want to head over to Facebook or Instagram, right here's their Instagram. It's just at Carnage Tools. At Carnage Tools, you guys can check them out. Otherwise, we're going to be playing with this for a while and see if we like it. I do have some other stuff coming from them. Guys, I do appreciate you watching very much. Hold on. Give you guys a little sneak peek of what's to come. All right, for you guys that watch the videos, there's a little sneak peek of the timing cover. That has turned out better than I could have ever imagined. This is the Duplicolor metal cast, and I picked this up with the help of one of you guys, Torch Mega Cab on Instagram. And it matches my powder coat damn near perfect. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all I have tonight. If you don't mind, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already done so, and we'll talk to you guys later on.